in this session, I'm going to share with you how to send the questions to your students using what's called LiveView in Plickers. Before we do that though, you will need to print out a series of cards. I'm going to go ahead and click here. Plickers has a series of sets that you can download. I recommend that you print these out on cardstock and not laminate them. If you do laminate, make sure that the lamination is a non-glossy type because it will not work if they're super glossy. I would recommend using kind of a flat type of lamination. So let's continue here. If you notice, there's different numbers and different sizes. I went ahead and used what's called the standard size. Basically what that does is when you print out the sheet, there are 2 per card, and I just cut them in half and use them in my class. Now these are good for a small group of students, but if you have a large class, a large number, I recommend using the larger cards for that. Jumping back to, see, we're at library. So again, these are our questions. I'm going to go ahead and ask these now. So I'm going to jump over to LiveView. And in LiveView, it says it's ready to go, but what I need to do is to set up my iPad or to turn it on. I have already downloaded the app. You can use it on iOS or Android. I have already logged into my app as well. But let me show you how it looks like on the iPad. So we're going to jump over. There is the iPad. And as you can see there, I have my 2 classes. As soon as I jump into my sample class, you're going to notice the screen in the background is going to kind of change here in a little bit. I'm going to try to move this out of the way. I'm just kind of try to make some room here. Move these to the side so you can see both things here. There we go. Now, I'm going to tap on the first question there. If you can see on the screen there now, what you're seeing on the left-hand side is what your students would see from the projector. So this is how they will read the question. They'll look at that, and there's the image, and there are the possible answers. I'm going to scroll down. Now, the reason this looks like this is because I've resized my screen, but here are all my students. And as soon as they answer, I will be able to see who has responded. So let's kind of run this here. If you see on the iPad there at the bottom, it says scan. And I'm going to tap on scan, and now you won't be able to see there, but on my iPad there's a little delay there. If you notice, there's the names of my students, and there might be a little bit of a delay in the video, so I apologize for that. But basically what it's doing, it's scanning all the cards. Some are showing up red, some are showing up green. The green one has got the answer correct, and it shows their name there. Now, this is something that I would be visually be able to see. Students will not be able to see this because this is on the iPad or Android device or iPhone. As soon as I'm ready, I hit that check sign because all of my students have answered, and I can see immediately which of my students are having trouble with this question. Now, let me just kind of set my iPad down for a second here and scroll on the left. Notice now those checks are on. Now, the reason you don't see the other ones is I've only had 6 students respond. So if you look on the iPad there, 6 out of 30, that's why you don't see all of them. So if you have a student that's absent, you probably won't see them checked on. This is kind of great because you can talk about it. Students can guess, okay, what do we think is the correct answers? Now, let's reveal the answer. Now, students can see if they were right or wrong. Or you can just put it by their first name, go by card number. If you don't want to embarrass them, you can just not reveal the answer, but maybe show the graph and then reveal the answer in the graph so the students themselves will know. You reveal the answer, but there is no embarrassment on a student's end. Students can see that they answered, click on graph, show the answer, and now I'm ready to go to another question. So if you look on the right hand side there, Now I'm going to ask the next question here. And I'm going to click on scan here, but notice how the question changed on the left side there. Now let's scan, see who's got these answers correct. The check button. Again, notice on the bottom there that those students have answered. Hit the graph, reveal the answer. Basically, just continue, hit that back arrow, go on to the next question. We're going to scan. I can see which students have answered. So let's do this several more times here. Again, show the graph, reveal the answer. And now let's go over to our last question and hit scan. And now I'm going to scan my students. And now they see over here. Again, remember this side, it would be full screen so that all students can see. We reveal the answer, and then you can kind of quickly check understanding, kind of get some feedback. And again, over on the right hand side, notice how my class now is empty, so there are no more questions to ask. I can pop in a new question if I want to by picking one. So if you notice, let me show you that again. See where it says library, and then just pick a new question, pop it in there, and immediately ask them. I'm gonna hit the back arrow, and let me jump back into full screen over here. Now I've ended the session. That is how you deliver the questions. You go into a live view session, have your students answer, and there you go. Now you have understanding of how to set up a live view session using a mobile device with the questions you've set up. Thank you again for joining, and we'll see you again in the future.